Hey, this is Rebecca Dirks for PremierGuitar.com. We are here checking out gear for Between the Buried and Me. And Dusty, you're going to show us what you play with. You've got a PRS here. You want to tell us a little bit about what your guitar is?
Yeah, these are, they made these custom for me. It's just a custom 24 with my DiMarzios. They added the Floyd, and the body is made of like a feather-light wood, a beachy. Kind of make it a little easier for being up here for 2 hours jamming. And pretty awesome. Got a few of these guys. I wouldn't trade them for anything. But this is magnified by this beast. These are my Port City 212 OS cabs. They're loaded with vintage 30s. Believe it or not, one of these things is louder than pretty much any 412 I've ever played.
And both of them are live? You're running both of them?
Yeah, I'm just running them stereo, you know. And so is Paul. We both have the same cabs, just different color. And I don't know if you can see over here, but this is Amp World. I'm just running a Fractal Ultra through the Mesa Stereo 100 power amp into those cabs, you know, just one out of each side. I got the 50 just in case anything happens. And up at the front of the stage, through the little snake here, I'm using this Fractal MIDI controller, which is pretty cool. I got some pretty funny patch names. This one's pretty good. I got a little wiener in there. Just give me a little humor in case the show's not too good.
Oh no.
I got the Mission pedals. This one's pretty much like an all-time volume, and the spring-loaded one is in case I want to just like funk up somebody's life with some wah. We got the Line 6 digital wireless, which makes life pretty easy even when you're going overseas to play, because I don't really know why the digital stuff kicks more ass, but it does. And this guy here is pretty incredible. It's kind of a newer pedal, but as far as a boost goes, it just fattens your tone up and gives you a little extra if you need to like feedback a little more or just have your lead be more awesome. And then, you know, I got the tuner there. But it's pretty simple for me. You know, me and Paul have pretty similar setups, you know. We both use Wampler pedals as well. Throw them, you know, depending on what set we're playing, we'll throw that tape echo or something in there too.
So it's just certain tones where you feel like you're still getting a little bit more out of a pedal than within the Fractal?
Well, the Fractal's great, you know, but me and Paul are like, we still love like real amps and pedals and like the real rock and roll stuff, you know. So sometimes if you have a really special pedal, which pretty much anything Wampler makes is like top notch, but there's a few pedals that they just do something that's just, I don't know, it's just more organic than trying to build around it, you know what I mean?
Sure. So when are you using a lot of different kind of amp models in there, or are you going for one?
I'm using pretty much, I've always played Mesa stuff, so this first button here, my chunk channel is just like a Mesa, you know, with an exotic BB preamp, overdrive in front, noise gate. My clean is like, you know, like Dr. Z and a Fender Twin, I think, with some reverb delay. This is like a Dr. Z clean lead patch with reverb delay with the BB on there. This is like a Soldano with like a really really low octave just to make it sound like the world's ending.
Yeah.
We use that in like Fossil Genera and a few songs, but that's my lead, which I think is a one of the Fractal amps, like the FAS Modern with the BB. This is like a crystallizer channel, which is in the song Telos. This is my like Neil Sean swell patch, just loaded with effect, so you can just rule people. And that's like a super delayed clean for like textural stuff. That is a distorted delay patch where you can just like do that and it'll go forever, you know? And this is my like dime bag lead patch. It's kind of like pitched up a little, and you can definitely be professional with that patch. It's pretty awesome.
Awesome. So basically, you're using the Fractal as many people do, just so that you can have access to all of these things that you couldn't possibly bring along on the road.
Just having one unit, you know, instead of having like 4 heads and a bunch of pedals and effect units, and you can just kind of have it all in one, you know.
And what is it about the Mesa why you keep that in the rig then?
Just always used Mesa. It's always been solid. For the stuff we do, it just works the best, you know. I love it, you know. It does anything you need it to do, you know, and it pretty much captures the tone that we're used to having with the XFX, you know. I mean, I haven't really played many other power amps. I played some Marshall ones, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Wasn't quite as like throaty and just, you know.
And then, so for the cabinets, you like having the cabs on stage, so you still get that kind of stage volume.
We're not direct dudes. I did it once, and like I said, we're all about the rock and roll stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
sure. So are you using mostly are any different tunings between your guitars?
Nah, everything's in the same tuning. We're in, you know, like a standard C sharp.
Cool. And what strings are you using?
D'Addario, since day one.
And gauges?
This is a custom set. It's 11, 14, 21, but this is wound, which a lot of people think is weird, but you don't get a buzz when you're tuned down, and you can still bend or whatever. But let's see, so 33, 44, 56.
Cool. And you have that same across your other guitars.
Yeah, same on every guitar.
And you used to play with active pickups, different guitars. What is it about this setup that you're preferring now?
I mean, nothing against the EMG, you know, they're good for, I just feel like if you're just playing straight metal stuff, they're awesome, but we have so many different, you know, genres in one song of ours, so you need to be able to capture every single tone you can, you know. I mean, I can make this sound like a Tele, I can make it sound like Stratty or Les Paulish or whatever you need to do. And I feel like you kind of lose the player, you know, the character in active pickups, you know. The first passive pickups I tried after that was the DiMarzio deactivator, and it was kind of like the passive version of the AMG, you know, but I was blown away. Like, you have to play a little cleaner, but you can actually hear like the player in it, you know what I mean?
Do you feel like you're a better player with the passives?
Yeah, I mean, I think you really have an identity with passive pickups as opposed to everybody can pretty much sound the same with EMGs, you know. There's not as much dynamic to, you know, and again, I'm not bashing EMG at all. It's just like I prefer passive for those reasons, you know.
Cool. Well, I think everybody's getting everything set up here, so we should probably wrap it up, but we really appreciate you taking some time in the midst of getting set up to show us around your rig. All right, now we're checking out Paul's rig over here, and you're playing PRS as well, right?
I am, yes. This is a PRS Custom 24. It's just a production model. I think they call this the Tobacco Burst or something along those lines. And it's got the, you know, the PRS standard tremolo on it, as opposed to Dustie, who opts for the Floyd Rose. I generally like a lower maintenance guitar, so I go with this. And I've modified it in the pickup department with bare knuckles pickups. These are the Blackhawks, which Blackhawk in the bridge, and then the accompanying Blackhawk neck pickup, which I really like. I just started kind of messing around with these, and they're you know, for a high output pickup, they're pretty dynamic. They sound fine for cleans as well, so pretty versatile pickup for a high output passive pickup. So I really like them a lot, and yeah, I'm definitely digging them.
Are you using those? You have another guitar?
Yeah, I have my backup guitar is also it's a black, you know, opaque black finish PRS Custom 24, and I put the same pickups in them. And you know, just a 3-way toggle here. You know, splits the, you know, so the middle position is just both of them combined. Obviously, back is the neck, and I mean bridge, and then forward is the is the neck. So yeah, pretty simple.
Are you mostly playing on one position over and in?
For heavy rhythms, I generally keep it on the bridge, and then for leads, depending on what lead it is, if it's like kind of a more solo-y lead, I'll roll it all the way to the neck. There's some leads I kind of want the combination. It sort of is my way of emulating almost a single coil type of sound, even though it's not really splitting in the coils or anything. But and I also use that middle position a lot for cleans, kind of strummy parts. It's just kind of a good balance of the two pickups. It's not so, sometimes if I do cleans all the way on the neck, it gets a little boomy. Yeah. So I opt for the middle position. But yeah, that's about it. Pretty simple as far as my guitar.
And are you using the fractal
I am,
XFX
yeah.
as well?
It's back here, hidden behind this iron curtain. Yeah, just similar setup to Dustie's, really. Yep. Just the XFX. We don't run them direct. A lot of guys like to run them direct. We're sort of old school, so we're trying to kind of like balance the two schools of thought. So we have the the digital preamp. So I'm just really using the fractal as a preamp. It runs into that Mesa that's on the bottom there, that Simulclass 290. The Stereo 50 is just a backup. So yeah, we run the Simulclass 290, which I love. That thing sounds huge, and then that runs into two 212 Port City cabs, which are loaded with Celestion V30s, which is my preference. I love V30s. I really don't stray from those. I think those are just the ideal speakers for what we play. So, and Port City, Dusty probably told you, Port City is a company based in North Carolina, and he makes killer stuff and is really good to us. So,
and that's where you guys are from.
Yeah, we are from North Carolina. So yeah, anybody out there, check out.
Local guys.
Yeah, well, he's local, but
I know,
he does very well.
Yep,
so I mean, he builds really cool stuff, and yeah, we love his cabs. They're really cool.
Cool. Well, you're using a couple more pedals than Dusty, although he says he brings some of the Wamplers in too. So let's talk about your pedal board, how you're controlling the XFX, and how you're bringing the other pedals in.
Well, the main thing is the Rocktron All Access, which, to my understanding, they don't make these anymore, which is kind of a bummer. I love this thing, and it's been real good to me. But yeah, I'm just controlling the XFX with this. I use quite a few more patches than Dusty does, so I actually set mine up in song mode.
Oh, okay.
So I basically I have each song programmed. So like this is the first song we play, which is called Astral Body, and I use like a rhythm patch, a lead patch. This one is called Astral 1, which is kind of a pushed clean tone that I use for that song. And then I also have a patch up here called Astral 2, which is basically this one, but with more gain, more gain saturation. And so I use that one quite a bit in that song. And then it just scrolls up. Song 2, we play Lay Your Ghost to Rest, which I use that same rhythm patch, same lead patch, but then I have what I call Ghost Clean, which is really just my clean tone with a delay that I have programmed into the XFX that's at the tempo of the song. So I use that, and then I use a little what I call Ghost Banjo, which is there's banjo on the record during one particular part. So rather than switching to a banjo in a nanosecond amount of time, I just click this button, and I've programmed a sort of a banjo-y sounding patch there. Sure. So yeah, I just have it programmed basically according to the set list. It goes all the way up to, I think we do 7 songs, actually we play 5 songs, but I use we do some headlining gigs on this tour as well, so I have 7 songs for those. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And then I use 2 expression pedals. These are Mission expression pedals. This one's just a basic kind of, I use this as like a dedicated volume pedal for the current set we play. I also use it there's a couple other random patches where I use it as like a pitch control, like a whammy type of a thing. And then this one here is the spring loaded one, which bounces back to the heel position, and I use that for a wah pedal. Makes for a really good wah pedal, and you can set the XFX to auto engage. So pretty much on any patch I can just rock that and it turns into a wah, which is pretty cool. What else we got here? We got the Line 6 wireless. This is the G50, which has been good to us. Line 6 is pretty much got it down on the digital wireless
Now
thing.
I forgot to ask Dusty this. Are you guys using the setting where you can make it sound like a cable?
Well, yeah, it does have like a cable emulation thing, and it's kind of almost like I would liken it to almost like a depth knob or something.
So you have a set a little bit up
Yeah,
there.
I have it like set as a 15-foot cable, but really all that means, the more you turn it up, kind of the darker your tone gets a little less digitally sounding, I guess is the way I would put it. So I've found that position is pretty good for me.
Cool.
And in some ways, the using the wireless gives you like some presence that I kind of like, actually. It's kind of cool. When I switch to a cable, I almost prefer the wireless tone, or maybe I'm just used to it.
There you go.
And then the other pedals I have on tour, I have this Wampler Tape Echo, which is really cool. I love this pedal, and I use it quite a bit. And you can see I've got the tape echo simulation engaged, which basically just gives you a little bit of modulation on the repeats of the delay, which is kind of cool, and you can control that with that knob there on the top left.
Yeah. And what song are you using that on?
I use that one for Telos, which is a song on our new record, during a clean part. And it's really, it just gives it a cool, like, spacey, sound, and it definitely gives you that sort of vintage tape delay sound, which is cool. I'm kind of bummed because Wampler just came out with a new version of this that has a tap tempo on it, which I need to hit them up and be like, yo, you got to send me one of those. But yeah, I love that pedal, man. And in general, Wampler makes really killer pedals. That guy's definitely got it dialed in. The pedal right above that is a Port City Salem Boost, which is again made by Daniel at Port City, and that is just an ultra clean boost, just super, just gives you an extra push on any clean tones you're using. And I love that thing. I also use that pedal in Telos to give me an extra push during a little solo part. And right above that is the Leviathan Fuzz, which is more just a toy than anything. I love it. I use it for one song. I also use that in Telos, but it's just a lot of fun and really gives you that kind of 90s fuzz sound, that Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream sound. It's super awesome. It's got two different settings, like a silicone sound and the germanium. So you can opt for, I forget which is which, but I think on there it says roar and rumble. But man, that thing sounds killer, man. And you can use it, you can use it from starting with a clean tone and kicking it on, or I use it with on my main rhythm patch, which is pretty high gain, and then kick that in, and it just gives you this huge like beast sound. Nice. And then finally the Polytune, TC Electronic Polytune, which is really cool.
And what are you using for strings?
These are Diodario's. I kind of have to make my own set because we use weird stuff.
Yeah.
But so they haven't made a set like this yet, so I order them in individuals. But the high string is an 11, which we tune to C sharp. This string is a G sharp, and I use a 14. The third string I use a wound 21, and that's tuned to E. Well, I love the wound. I've always used that. It just, for me, it helps with intonation and just in general, I just like the feel of it. This here is a 32, I believe, or a 30. I can't remember. This one is a 42, and then or 44, sorry, and then a 56 on the bottom. And that's it, yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like you guys got to get sound checking, but I really appreciate you taking some time to show us the rig. All right, thanks a lot. This is Rebecca Dirks for PremierGuitar.com.